Seems like we're quickly moving towards a future where Warner Brothers is going to get bought out by somebody, and those somebodies apparently look to be over at Paramount. The new Skydance ownership is not content with just simply going out there and buying up creatives. They want to get another studio under their belt, and this one, well, it's pretty substantive, okay? Because David Ellison's Warner Brothers bid takes shape. No clear role for David Zaslav. Well, that's an interesting development, because that's the money man, that's the hatchet man that has been setting up Warner Brothers for a potential acquisition, or at least what they're potentially setting themselves up for next year with the split between the streaming and the studio side of things and the traditional side of life. Zaslav was going to be taking over for that studio streaming side, and he was going to leave the old money man in charge of the traditional side of life. But apparently, if Warner Brothers, but if Paramount Skydance wants to come in, well, they just want to buy everything before the split becomes official. So let's take a look at this. So with new contracts for Warner Brothers Motion Pictures chairs, Michael DeLuca and Pam Abdi signed, sealed and delivered. The stills David Zaslav run Warner Brothers Discovery is truly poised for a purchase by David Ellison and Paramount. Coming off a $4 billion global box office year to date, DeLuca and Abdi are clearly among Warner Brothers Discovery's crown jewels and major assets from the Ellisons, yes, which is more than you can say for Zaslav. With the duo re-upped, it's akin to Ellison buying a house and discovering a Warhol painting hanging out back. I mean, pump the brakes here for a second because, yesterday we talked about how, actually, Superman, not exactly looking that fucking great from a box office perspective, and next year, oh boy. You think Supergirl is going to be able to be lied about and obfuscated with conversations about domestic box office the same way Superman was? And you think, Clayface is going to take off like a shot? Yeah, I don't know, man. But anywho, sources at both studios tell us that while there's no formal offer as of yet sent from, I guess that would be Paramount Skydance and Warner Brothers Discovery, the Jeff Shell and Jerry Cardinale advised Ellison is just biding his time before making a bid for another iconic studio. However, it is unclear how far informal pitches and discussions between the parties have evolved. Because, we talked about this, a couple of weeks ago at this point, where there were rumors that people were starting to line up to kick the tires and see if Warner Brothers was for sale. And one of those other places, we'll come back to this in a second, was Netflix, okay? And Netflix CEO brushes off rumors that the company will buy Warner Brothers. We're builders, not buyers. Well, that kind of softens the market for Warner Brothers and ends up playing into the hands of Paramount. I'm wondering how much longer Ellison is just, if he's willing to sit back and buy his time for much longer, because, you got a picture of Bob Iger that's right there. I don't think Disney's going to be in the market to pick up Warner Brothers, even though it'd be really interesting to have both DC and Marvel under one house. But there was also talk, or at least speculation, that Amazon or Apple could be circling Warner Brothers at this point in time. And, they have more money than God at this point. They're still, at the end of the day, a tech company. And in so much as Netflix is, kind of a tech company, they're still much more of an entertainment first business as opposed to, Apple just, being a tech firm, and Amazon being, an e-commerce site, both of which just kind of dabble in entertainment. So yes, in regards to this rumor that Netflix could be buying out Warner Brothers, Netflix co-CEO Greg Peters said, I would say this, we come from a deep heritage of being builders rather than buyers, Peters said, and what may have been a veiled shot at Disney CEO Bob Iger. Interesting. One should have a reasonable amount of skepticism around big media mergers. They don't have an amazing track record over time. And then just simply going back to Warner Brothers, which in my lifetime, oh my God, one of the early Warner Brothers mergers that immediately comes to mind was with AOL, and that ended up killing off WCW. And then, they became AOL, Time Warner, and then Warner Brothers merging with Discovery. And I know I'm missing a couple of other ones that are in there. So he's just letting you know that, we'll just go over there. We have so many other, good season ones that we can put out of different shows that'll get critical acclaim and then shit out a second season, or many other adaptations that we can bastardize. Hey, haven't you heard about the Greta Gerwig Chronicles of Narnia reboot? God, that's going to be so great. But yes. back to this. Okay, to that specifically, talking about informal pitches, rather. Ellison and his father, Larry Ellison, the second richest man in the world, depending on what time of day it is. Oh, interesting. I knew Larry Ellison had a lot of fucking money. I didn't realize he was that loaded. Don't want to see a repeat of the prolonged, painful saga that marked Skydance's $8 billion acquisition of Paramount. But you would have to think, right? Like, if Paramount is going to swallow up Warner Brothers, that would prompt, at least conversations about a monopoly. I would still be on board with this. It's just, there's going to be people taking note, okay? So by just sheer virtue of the size of these companies, I think it would be just as, if not more cumbersome to go through. But yet, and also, there's this other cloud that's hanging over the top of this, nor the input, rather, of various private equity firms. Do they want to step on landmines or find any surprises with the debt-heavy Warner Brothers Discovery? They don't currently see a significant role for David Zaslav in the newly merged mega studio. To be honest, studio sources tell us it would be very unlikely that Zaz would want to hang around once a sale is complete. The tech guys like Larry Ellison want a clean sheet with no surprises. At most, right now, Zaz could be looking at an offer for a board seat and perhaps a strategic advisor position, insiders inform us, which I think he would be more than happy with. When contacted by Deadline today, representatives for Paramount and Warner Brothers Discovery had no comment on a potential deal and more. Word around the town is that Zaslav, enjoying his new role as head of Warner Brothers Discovery, was jockeying for some sort of grand poobah type of position with any Warner Brothers acquisition, hence a reason why he's been trying to drum up bidders for the conglomerate other than Paramount and Netflix. But according to Netflix's public stance, it really doesn't seem like it's going to happen. So yeah, man, if a buyout is likely, I would say probably Paramount I would keep right there at the top, but also think Amazon would be right underneath of that. Quite close on that one. And then Apple just could be a wild card, if they just want to kind of throw something into the works. But I would imagine this isn't the last time we're going to hear about this. And if I was a betting man, within the next 5 years, I think Warner Brothers is getting bought out. And I think they're going to be a Paramount studio. Skydance by Warner Brothers. Bugs Bunny getting a reboot alongside SpongeBob SquarePants. What a crazy time we find ourselves in. So with all that said, and before I leave though, I just want to truncate this just a little bit more. I've been talking about it over the past couple of days, and I just want to for these next couple of videos, so just bear with me for a moment. I lost the second channel where I would discuss health and wellness, fitness, and all of those types of fun things as myself as a certified personal trainer, exercise physiologist, whatever the hell you want to call it at the end of the day. You know, all of the stuff that I find interesting, breaking down minerals, vitamins, different health advice is about the nicest way that I can put it. But yes, back in 2023, back when the Biden White House was just actually stepping and suppressing on people's freedom of speech, I ended up losing the channel. Now, I would do the same content and exclusively keep it over on Rumble, but I filed an appeal after, Google made the revelation that, we're going to be starting this new pilot program where we're going to have amnesty for the channels that we summarily yeeted in years gone by, and lo and behold, YouTube did something nice for me and I got my channel back. So over this weekend, I'm going to be making, a couple of uplifts. Well, not uplifts in so much as, a couple of facelifts and upgrades to the channel, the main one, and then this channel as well, getting it flush with content so we can kick things off on Monday, starting, I think, at about 6 o'clock, Monday through Friday, is when I've been dropping the videos. So yes, if it sounds like something that you're interested in, and you can take a look at, what was the most recent stuff put out on the channel 2 years ago when I ended up losing it at the tail end of March of 2023. And one of those videos, the most recent video, in fact, is a little bit prescient given the times that we're in right now, discussing ibuprofen and what is going on out there. Interesting. Your boy was ahead of the curve for sure back in the day. But yeah, if it sounds like something that you're interested in, there will be a link in the description, and I would appreciate it immensely. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.